Hello everyone and welcome to my daily report market analysis videos with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec on Wednesday 13th of November. We've got a slightly cautious outlook to markets today. We had a speech by Donald Trump yesterday. Traders would have been hoping that he would have been laying the groundwork and laying out the pathway towards this phase one agreement with China. Didn't really do that. He didn't really mention that at all, apart from the fact that he started going on about the fact that he thought China were cheaters in the world trade game. And that certainly hit sentiment yesterday. We've seen the reaction continuing today. We've seen yields sort of rolling over, that rally in treasury yields we've seen, which have been the source of that dollar rally recently, started to roll over. The yield curve just flattening a little bit. You can see those spreads falling away again, and volatility starting to pick up on the VIX. Interesting that we've seen, look at these European equity markets, lower on the DAX. I spoke about this in my trading webinar yesterday, that I thought the DAX could be close to topping out potentially. Interesting the DAX is over 100 ticks lower today. Interesting also that gold has started to pick up. The safe havens generally are starting to sort of make a bit more headway. We've seen the yen just a bit steady today really, but I think broadly speaking the yen is starting to turn a bit of a corner potentially. We've seen gold picking up. We've also seen the Swiss franc, which against the dollar is well, dollar Swiss is lower, but my chart today, Euro Swiss, that's the focus, I think, is to reflect an interesting strengthening of the Swiss franc. So all of these are reflective of a slightly more cautious market outlook developing. We've also seen the oil price, which has started to, having consolidated in recent days. Is that starting to roll over, is the question. So yeah, some interesting moves that we are seeing in markets in response to this speech by Donald Trump last night. We have Jerome Powell speaking today. He has his first day of the testimonies to Congress, and how he comes out with his leans on monetary policy will be interesting, because he gives us a written statement initially, and then he faces unseen questions from the committee members there. So that would be very interesting to see how that comes across today. Could be some volatility this afternoon. Now we've got inflation day on the economic calendar, but before that, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand surprised us all with a no rate cut, and kept rates on hold. So subsequently, the Kiwi is the strong currency of the day, up 1% against the dollar. So a strong rebound on the Kiwi. But broadly speaking, inflation is the focus today on the economic calendar. We have the UK inflation at 9.30, expected to hold ground on the core inflation at 1.7%, but dip slightly on headline to 1.6%. Then into the afternoon, we've got the US inflation, and that's expected to again hold ground. Core at 1.7%. Headline at 1.7%, core at 2.4%. Let's just show you those on the charts, where we've seen the core holding at 2.4% and the headline also holding at 1.7%. So that takes me on to my chart of the day, which is Euro Swiss. Now Euro Swiss, as I said, has been interesting because the Swiss franc is starting to strengthen. You can see that in the last 3 days, all throughout this week. Decisive move to the downside, big strong bear candles, accelerating lower. The market failed at around that sort of 110.50 mark, this old pivot. Back underneath 110.20 and again back underneath 109.60. This sort of completed a near-term breakdown, but look at the momentum indicators. RSI mid-30s, below 40. I think that really does sense that the market is turning corrective on a near-term basis. MACD lines accelerating lower, stochastics increasingly bearish. I think a test of this 108.65 level of support that we can see from early October is likely to be seen now, but also a test of the range lows of 108.10 to 108.30 area. Looks increasingly likely. So it's selling into strength on that Swiss Euro Swissy. Now you can see on the hourly chart The market was the hourly RSI was failing around the mid-60s during the selling phase previously, but that's now selling in the failing in the mid-50s. So any sort of unwinding move that you see into the sort of around the 50 point on the hourly RSI, I think is a selling opportunity. 109.60 is that old support, turns into resistance. You've got 109.40, which was a reaction high, well actually today's high. But generally speaking, any sort of rebound that you get, I think, is a selling opportunity. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading today. Click here to subscribe for our analysis videos and go to our website to sign up for our webinars.